My name is Alexander Armenkov. Today is 21st of October 2022 and I'm finishing my series Reality is Subject to Influence. Today is also Halloween. I'm 112.2 kilograms, so after 1 month of influencing my reality I was able to actually reduce my weight with only 4.5 kilograms. But the most important thing is everything that we are learning during our influencing and interaction with the reality. So today I was going to speak, and I'm willing to speak with you about the vortexes, and I'm going to make a reflection regarding Halloween and all these other things that are happening. So as I was explaining before, we need to understand the mythos and the logos, these two important parts of us that are helping us to grasp and understand reality. So if we think about it, actually, with our five senses, we see the surface of reality. We see only the realm of the effects, but we don't see the realm of the causality. So actually, all of us are moving forward into the reality in 100% blindness. So then how it is possible for anyone to actually lead through the blindness while all of us cannot see? So the only possibility is we to daily answer the question, what do you see? And now I'm going to speak with you about something in the unseen realm of reality. I'm going to label it as vortexes or toroidal fields, and from the perspective of it I'm going to explain you some of the tendencies that are happening in the realm of effect. So let's start now. We are going to work a lot with mythos, a lot with the imaginational part of the brain. So then you need to grasp and to make your allegories and your reflections from the mythos to the logic, back and forward, in order to understand what is behind the scene. This is a big problem, and it has always been in humanity, because we are 100% in darkness and 100% in the invisible realm. We can only reflect and deduct what is out there and how everything is constructed. So based of everything that is happening in the physical matter reality and in the visible field of effect, we are making reflection of what it's actually about and what is inside and beyond what is seen. So don't worry, you will never find a person or a being in the human experience that can explain you everything that is beyond and everything that is in the unseen. Because basically we understand the unseen not through these two eyes, but through the big eye of the perception, the fundamental eye through which we are allowed to see more from what is beyond and to go beyond what is seen and visible. And how I can do now this jump from Halloween, where we are 100% enjoying today the different mythos that are out there. It looks like totally stupid, it is very illogical, but we, the human beings, enjoy things like Christmas, like these Halloween celebrations and a lot of other things, because they are reflecting to what is happening daily in our reality. So let's continue with the vortexes. Based on how reality is constructed, actually we have the following. We have a reflection, but also everything that is seen in some particular image. You can see it also in a big picture, you can see it also on a bigger picture. So from one side there are 2 or 3 main big vortexes in humanity that are making us to move in some direction, because many times when we are using our will, we think that we are making the decisions, but actually we are choosing the vortexes in which we are to be sucked in and to participate. One of these big vortexes that is happening in the humanity is the vortex of independence and freedom and separateness that I have been spoken about the previous day. And what is happening there, when you go into this vortex and deep dive and are sucked into it, actually we the human beings are going more and more into a resistance, and we start using our will through this vortex, and then we don't understand why reality is 100% resisting everything we are trying to do. Another way to paraphrase this vortex where the humanity is rising is with the mythos of Prometheus. In the Prometheus mythos, as you know, he grabbed the fire and the technology or whatever you want to say from the gods, and he brought it to the humanity, and he said to humanity, now you start resisting the gods. Now you're empowered and try through everything you can to change, to transform everything which is, and you can earn long-term a better positioning for humanity. So this is one of the vortexes that we all as human beings on a different levels are daily moved and sucked into. So if we are willing to constantly try to improve, to bend, to transform what is into the reality, then just notice in your mind that actually you are using your will and you are sucked in this vortex of the Prometheus myth. There is a lot of storytelling, personalization of these tendencies that are out there in the invisible that are sucking humanity into independence from the construct and from the creation. And long term, we the human beings think that through technology, through progress, through resisting, long term, we are going to cope and we are going to actually win and are going to elevate ourselves and are going to conquer everything that is out there. But of course, long term, this is only a vortex. So when you move through reality, you need to understand that there are a lot of type of vortexes and you need to choose, will you participate in some of them or not? That's why if you celebrate the Halloween from this perspective, it is going to be much more interesting and different. There is another vortex also that is proposed through mainly the Christianity and to some way the Muslim religion, where there is this vortex of sacrifice and this vortex where we, the human beings, are actually helped by the gods in order we long term to transform ourselves into something else, and through sacrifice and through actually giving away our will for a better long-term development, we can long-term rely that somebody else and something else is actually long-term going to create and to change the structure of reality the way it is supposed to be, so that it is beneficial for all of us. This can also become a very strong vortex, but the most important thing for these two different tendencies, and they are a little bit one or two more big archetypal tendencies of vortexes and toroidal fields, which are just sucking us, the human beings, into the different way of moving. Also, another big vortex is the vortex of the high consciousness, or just to think that everything is just consciousness and oneness, and we to go strongly into this type of vortex. But long term, now you are going to understand why are we to use our will. Through our will, actually, we are supposed to, instead of giving us away so freely to all these different vortexes, actually through our will, to go inside of us, to be empowered, to find out our position and to understand that actually we are to be rulers in this reality, and to long term actually start using our will to choose and to decide how and to what extent actually we can create vortexes from the inside out, where we are in a sense giving up away our will, but through this we are actually receiving a new vortex from the inside out of authenticity. So instead of going into burning desires and wishes that are some kind of a tendency and trends and models, I want to be high conscious, for example, because all the people are in the moment high conscious. I want to be oneness because all the people are in oneness. I want to be Christian, Muslim, or Jewish, or whatever, because this is the new tendency there. Or I want to go into Luciferian or whatever type of vortex, because this is now modern and this is what I want. but actually we need to deep dive into our authenticity and from the inside out to create our own personal toroidal field of vortex that is actually able to influence all these different type of vortexes. And long term, we need to go through the narrow way where instead of trying to use our will to constantly choose and to be sucked in different vortices where it is very difficult then to go away and out of these paradigms that are long term if they are creating disempowerment of our personality and what we are here for, it is going to create a lot of big problems for us. So basically the idea is to work with everything that is out there, but also instead of being sucked in from the reality, actually to constantly, you and I, to influence the reality from the toroidal fields and the vortexes that actually we create through the cooperation with everything that is out there. And only then we will not going to label things as good or bad, but we know exactly through the authenticity that we have inside of us what is beneficial for humanity, and we are starting to see with our primary perception everything that is beyond the realm of effects. So this is a very small thing. I know there is not possible to have a lot of clarity without going into dogmatics, without going into different perceptions, but anyhow through this small story, when I connected with Helwin, I was willing to explain to you how mythos and logic is working together and why we have so much logical explanations about things that are not seen, and everyone can argue with each other and prove to each other that his point of view for the invisible is better than the other ones. So thank you for watching today, and from tomorrow we are starting reality talks with Alex. Bye bye.